If you guys have been here a while, you know that I love making things that are very functional for my planner, and the pockets and bookmarks slash pencil boards are my jam. I love having them multiple in each planner because as my planner, I want to be able to flip around and make this completely functional as possible. So like this, I have a today bookmark here. I have a bookmark in my financials to get to that month, and I have another bookmark that gets to me in my monthly. Now I could use clips, but I find that making bookmarks does two things. Number one, I can get to it a lot better. There's less fumbling. I can make them with tabs. I can make them without. I can make them decorative. I can make them flat. There's so many different variations other than just using a clip. So that's why I like to use them. Plus, they also make fantastic pencil boards because if I make them flat enough, I can just stick things under and then go ahead and write however much or as little as I want. And then there are nice sturdy surface. So if I like to add textured things, which I do here, even in my sterling ink, the only thing I don't add to my sterling ink are like super thick die cuts. I use absolutely anything, sticky notes, vellum, acetate, you name it. I put it in here and I don't mind because it is my planner and I like it chunky and I love the way it feels when it's in my hands. So with all that said, I need to make another bookmark for April. So I already have a dashboard that I've made using the acetate and the vellum. So I like to have a dashboard for every single beginning of the month. February, what I did was use actually clear sticker sheet, and then I just threw that in there. And then I had a dashboard behind. In March, I have the words March over along here with the vellum overlay. And so I thought maybe this would be super fun to do that for April. I had a blast, trust me. Then I'm needing a bookmark. So I just grabbed a few of my supplies, and you'll see here that I do have some embroidery floss. I love this paper from the unboxing. I just was so gravitated toward it because of the bright flowers, and it's just so gorgeous to look at. And I am dying for spring because right now it's snowing outside. So with that, I wanted to make a bookmark with it, but add a little bit of texture to it by using some embroidery floss. I do have some of my papers. These are from the main planner kit, and then this paper pack you can see is in the creative kit. So I'm going to cut everything to size because I need to decide, okay, which paper am I going to use? I originally had thought this one would work great, this being the front paper and then this being like the backside paper. But I think because this and this go well together, I want to make it kind of a monochromatic effect because I really want these this embroidery floss to pop. So I think that's what I'm going to use. Just use these two. And then I'm going to cut those to size and then we'll get started. I really do enjoy using my self-healing mat and my ruler. This is all of this is all for quilting. That's how I started crafting really as a young girl. I used to quilt a lot, and then it moved into scrapbooking and paper and all those things. And so I always find that using my rotary cutter and mat is usually the easiest thing to use to make sure I have straight lines. I don't like using the paper cutters because nothing is ever straight. It shifts all the time. So this is how I do it. And it takes an extra couple seconds, but it really helps out. So I've got my back, and I did trim this slightly larger than the sterling ink. I like it because I want it to stick out just a little bit. So you can see that I have this bookmark here. It's just like of 1/4 of an inch extra. And that way I can find it easier than if it was the same size as the sterling ink. So this one is going to be, again, about 1/4 of an inch wider than the sterling ink paper, which I don't mind. So I was thinking with this paper is I kind of want a border around my bookmark. And I was thinking like 1/4 of an inch. But instead of having these plain sides, I think what I want to do is trim it to size, and then I want to trim it yet again with my pinking shears. I think that'll add more texture to it as well. If you're probably thinking, Kim, what the heck are pinking shears? They're right here. I did grab them. They are the zigzag scissors that you use to make sure that your fabric does not fray when you are using, when you're like making garments and things. I've had these, oh gosh, since I was 10, 11, 12. So they do make, obviously, you know, the decorative scissors that we used to have all the time as kids. Those decorative scissors, I find that they dull really easily and they really never cut. So I threw all mine away and I don't really have any other decorative scissors at the moment. So this is what I'm going to use because it's what I have. There's just something about this kit that makes it feel a little bit homespun. I know March's kit as well, which was beautifully, is that Where the Breeze Begins. The kit I'm using here, this one is called Book for Spring, and there's lots of book references, but it still feels like home, and I think that's what makes me want to use my pinking shears. This embroidery floss, I think both of these would work. I'm just going to take a length, and I was thinking because of those dots in between all of the florals, that kind of inspired me to kind of want to do some French knots. If you aren't familiar with a French knot, I can definitely show you. I'm splitting my embroidery floss in half. Usually there's 6 strands in embroidery floss. I think 3 would be plenty. If you wanted smaller French knots, you can also just, you know, use a couple strands. But since I'm using like 2 strands, it's because I wanted the French knot to be bigger. And the reason is like when you are using paper, the hole that you make is permanent. It's not small at all. And so because I want a larger eye for the embroidery floss to get through, I need a thicker French knot. And that's kind of why I am trying this out with 3 strands. I want to see if that's big enough or if I need to add another one. So I just did a quick knot at the bottom. It's just what I call a sloppy knot. I just wrap it around my finger and I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to come up anywhere in where I think it would be cute to have an embroidery little French knot, pull that through. And then when you're doing your French knot, you take your point of your needle and then you're going to wrap it 3 times around your thread. And then you're going to go back down fairly close. For the reason I am not going more than 1/8 of an inch closer is because the paper, I don't want it to split, but I think this will be really cool effect all around. So then you just hold your thread and pull the extra part through, and when you get to the end, you just kind of gently tug and it makes like this textured knot. Isn't that fun? I'm just going to go ahead and do that everywhere. And then I'm going to come back in with a darker color. I don't know if it's going to make any difference from a color standpoint. So you come up from the back, wrap it 3 times, and then you're going to go back down about 1/8 of an inch away. I'm holding this thread here, pulling the extra down underneath, and voila, I have another French knot. So I'm just going to keep going and make this a super fun effect. And now do you see why I want the back to be covered? Because it's going to look junky in the end, and we might as well cover it up with a cute little piece of paper. I just finished up all of the French knots. I only had a couple of problems. I had one part where it did break apart. All I did was just healed it up with a little bit of tape on the back. And that's also how I did all of the loose ends. I just put a piece of tape over the top and it works just great. Now you could, if you were really wanting to make this really last long, you could take a piece of sticker paper and just stick down the entire back just to make sure that those don't pull through when you're handling them. I think it's going to work fine for me the way it is. Now the other thing I want to do is I was looking at this and I didn't want to get too close to the edges because I thought maybe with the embroidery floss and the edges they might pull, etc. So I didn't do any of the clusters along the edge. But then I was looking at this and I'm saying, well, I've taken the focus away from the flowers just a little bit by putting those in there. So I went and I grabbed some Stickles because I think this would work great to add, again, more texture to our project. Now, this Stickles bottle is from Cocoa Daisy's December kit. So I'm just highlighting the center of the flower with the Stickles, and it brings it out. It makes it a little bit more pronounced. I think it's going to look good. I wasn't really in the mood for anything with glitter. So I'm tentative to do this on the edges or outlining the petals. I just think it'll look a little classier if we did like this. A little goes a long way. I loved using it in the December kit. I use it for like window, snow in a window, and so this will work great too. All right, now I just have to wait a little while to make sure that the stickles dry, and then we'll get it all assembled and then work on the next part. Now that's drying, I wanted to do the back side of our backing board, and I got inspired, and I'm gonna try to do this, is I love the vinyl sticker that comes with the kits when you get a subscription. Sometimes they do run out for non-subscribers, but almost all subscribers will get one of these in their box. I just love how cute that looks. So I was thinking about maybe adding something like him as a larger scale on the back side. So maybe just the body and like the nose and the eye and the wing. I think that'll look fun. So I've got one little last piece of paper. This is from the Creative kit. I'm just gonna go ahead and rough mark how I think he should be, and then like even include his little things on the top, his little, what I say, Charlie Brown hairs on the top, and then just kind of do a little bit of, and so that will be his body. I think that'll look good. I'll just continue over on this side, and this is probably where I'll put the paper. So that is how he's going to be, and then I'll put the wing down over here as well, and then decorate his belly as well, like that. It might be just a smidge too big, but I think for now it's gonna work. And to create some definition along the side, I'll just use a marker along the edge and just trace it. So here's what the wing will look like. I'm gonna just use the edge of the paper for a little line so I know where to cut the edge. Oh, that'll look cute. I think that'll look great. And then I want to make his body a different color or a definition. See how one is like they're the same shade. So how about I make the belly like maybe an orange? Let me look through my scrap paper and find something. I know this probably sounds crazy, but how about I use these books as the belly? We'll just kind of mark that it needs to be about this tall. I think I'm going to use this book stack over here. I think that would look fun. So we'll just cut out another one of these out of the book paper. And I really think somewhere around here, I think it's charming, kind of mimics at it being a bird. And now let's go ahead and get a Sharpie, and I'm just gonna outline the edge and make his eye along with the things that are on his wings as well. I'm just using a piece of scrap paper underneath my permanent marker just in case I make a little goof. But I want it to look a little hand-drawn, so I'm not worried about it being a completely perfect outline. And I've decided to do this edge too. I don't know if it'll look good, but if it doesn't, then I'll just trim it off. But I really want to make sure I'm nice and cohesive. And I haven't even gotten rid of my pencil marks, but I might do that in a minute. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make, looking at my reference, I need to make on the wings, there is these shapes here, they're bird feather wings. And then now I get to make the eyes and the nose. Ooh, I want the nose to be a different color, so maybe I'll get a piece of scrap. I did find a piece of just orange paper in the Creative Kit paper pack. I'm just outlining that right now. It's just a inverted triangle, so that's super easy and fun little nose. I also made another wing. I realized that I need to get these guys closer together, so I made another wing. So I'm just gonna play around with, oh, the shapes. Isn't that fun so far? And then I'll figure out where I want his other wing to go and then trim off the extra. Let's see, his feet will be down here. So let's go ahead and attach my cute little birdie. I feel like the only thing he's missing is a die cut, so I grabbed a couple. Oh, that one's sweet. I like that one. There's also this coffee cup. I think the coffee cup looks great. It just looks a little out of scale, so I'm gonna go with the book because I think that would be cute, like it's holding the book. So, and it's reading the book about birds. So funny. So that looks so fun. Now, because I put him offset on the side, I want to balance him out on the side, preview a couple things. I grabbed this bookshelf washi, which I thought would be really busy. I would have to do like 2 layers of it. Well, that doesn't look too bad. I actually like that. Let's just do the easy washi. That'll balance him out and it creates a little bit more detail. And then with the stationery kit, you also got some of these word bubble stickers. I thought it would be fun to add a couple to this page, like I'd rather be reading, like this guy right here. Free as a bird, that one's a good one for this guy. And this guy's a good resting bird face sticker. And it kind of breaks up that background a little bit. I can't start yet. I haven't had my coffee. This guy's like upside down almost. This guy is a good one for question mark. All right, I think I'm done with the back side. I think it looks super cute. I've gone ahead and put down some of this, of my 1/4 inch double-sided tape. I just love this. It sticks so well. I never have a problem with anything I use it coming apart. So here is the top side, and then we'll put this side here. I think it looks gorgeous. I love the way it turned out. It looks so classy, and then it looks so fun on the other side. How fun was that bookmark? A tale of 2 pages is what I would like to call it. Anyway, it looks so fun. I cannot wait to get it in my planner in April. I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick fun tutorial, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.